Hello, everyone. My name is Curtis Gamarian. I'm the editor and the co-founder of the Guion Journal, and also the host of a new segment called Guzo to Healing. Guzo means journey in Amharic, which is a language in Ethiopia. So this is the second installment of Guzo to Healing. Uh, the plan was to have one show a week, but life hit me like a tsunami. And for those people that have been following my work, that's kind of ironic because this whole journey to healing, it started a long time ago, to be honest with you. This tsunami that came for me has been after me for a very long time, and that tsunami is me. I've been a tsunami to myself since I was a child. I never grew up. You know that song about Kanye West? I'm a grown ass man. I'm a grown ass kid. I don't want to grow up. It says something like that through the wire. There's a reason why I like Kanye. I'm kind of like Kanye a little bit sometimes. My ego. I'm very egotistical, and I'm working on that. So today's segment is called Memo to Mary, as in Memo to, we call it Mariam in Ethiopia. She was the mother of Christ, and she was, man, just amazing. As amazing as Iyesus was, he was astounding. To me, the mother, her story is unsung, and it should be even, in a way, her story, it might even be greater than Iyesus's. Because the story of a mother is greater than the story of the son, right? The son comes from the mom. So then, therefore, if a long time ago, my friend Rob told me, the thing about Obama, would Obama have been anybody without his mom? And I even had to think twice, but I said no. He goes, yeah, that means his mom was better than him in that way because she made him possible. Everyone knows Obama. Nobody really knows his mom. I think his mom's name was Ann Durham. So in that way, everyone, the whole world knows about Iyesus. By the way, his real name is Iyesus with an I. The letter J, that's a Roman Catholic confession. But I don't really want to talk about that today. I want to just talk about love, the love of a mother, and in that way, the love that's then passed down to the son. Right. So I would not be here today had it not been for the love of my mom, which has been passed down to me. My sense of empathy, my care for the world, my care for other people. These were traits that my mama had in spades. And those traits came down to me. I'm very empathetic. I'm very giving. I'm very loving. And by the way, my mom's name is Sarah. And so these names we're going to, give out, they're very profound. Sarah was, in the Bible, was Abraham's wife. And there the beef between, for example, Christianity and Islam started because of the beef between Sarah in the Bible and Hagar. And so they both had sons, and then that was kind of like the divergence that kind of created a division between the two faiths, right? And this is before the two faiths were even around. This is in the Old Testament. Only Judaism existed. But that misunderstanding between Sarah and Hagar end up, end up becoming the source of conflict that served as a division for all three major faiths, right? So mothers could do that. They could either be a source of unity in life, or they could be a source of death and division, right? That's the power of women. It should never be underestimated. The power that men have is nothing compared to the power that women have. In that way, I'm very thankful for my mom. I'm grateful every day. Yeah, she turned me into a loving a human being. But there's other traits that I picked up from my mom as well. My mom did not fully believe in herself. My mom cared too much about what other people thought about her. My mom, for long stretches of life, suffered with depression because of these things. When your self-love and self-belief is missing, that's not only something that you struggle with. You give that to your children. You had to fix yourself. You had to heal, not for yourself only, but for the sake of your children. Because that's how generational curses are created. So that's the two traits of my mom. I'm loving, empathetic, giving. But as a consequence, I'm also, very insecure. I'm giving to a fault, too much. You should never give too much. Give enough. Give enough so that you can have for yourself as well as for other people. I don't have that. I give, give, give. And that's not a virtue, by the way. Iyesus said, give, love yourself as you, no, love your neighbor as yourself. He didn't say love your neighbor above yourself. That's a sin. People that love too much. I know people are like, can you love? Yes, you can love too much. A husband who loves his wife too much can become abusive and stalker. A woman that loves a husband too much could do the same thing. Could be abusive and neglecting of herself as she gives to others. These things are imbalances. You have to love yourself as you love others. And to be honest with you, the most important love is self-love. Without self-love, there is no loving other people. And that is what I've been missing. I don't know how to love myself. I know how to love other people. And there's a lot of reasons for that. A lot of reasons for that. And so this thing of giving too much, of loving too much, was my tsunami. The tsunami I kept warning about the whole time was me. Because 7 years ago, I did the same thing. I gave too much. When I lost my job at Booz Allen Hamilton, I basically just cashed out my 401k. Not very foolish, but nothing that rises to the level of being crazy. Just fool. I did foolish things. That's my right as an American citizen to do foolish things. That's my right as a human being. We learn over time, not because somebody imposed their will upon us, but because we learn through mistakes, trial by fire. This is what free will means. And so that's exactly what happened. I cashed out my 401k, a lot of money, and partied like a rock star for the whole year, almost the whole year 2014. I blew through 90% of it. And the last 10% effectively, I decided to open up a shisha lounge, like the what you smoke, the hookah lounge. Not a good thing. I'm not being judgmental here, but me as a hookah bar owner, my God, that would have been the death of me. And so life intervened, and thank God. And this intervention had two components to it. Part of it was very easily explainable. Sometimes they say that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Sometimes people intervene out of concern, out of wanting to help. Unless somebody is literally about to kill themselves or about to destroy themselves in ways that's irreparable, let people fall. Let them fall. That's how they learn. That's how I learned. You know what I'm saying? That we should not be playing God in people's lives. But too many of us do that, including myself. See, this video that I'm recording is as much as a condemnation of me, Teddy, as it is of the world. In fact, that's all about me. Today, my aim is to kill my ego. This ego of mine that has two components. You see, most people think ego means it's all about arrogance. It's all about hubris and pride. That's one component. But there's a flip side to ego, which is depression, sadness, insecurity. In fact, hubris, arrogance, pride, these are masks that people wear to hide their insecurity, to hide their fears, to hide their depressive nature, right? Because depression is the flip side of ego. It is ego. Somebody explained that to me one time. I went to go see a therapist once, and I said, man, I wish I didn't have ego. She goes, man, you have the most ego of them all. I said, what? Like, how depressed? I don't even believe myself. She goes, that is ego. That's ego. When you make everything about you, because you know what depressed people do? They make everything about them. Like literally, it could be raining. Oh my God, look at me. I just have bad luck. It's rain, bruh. This has nothing to do with you. You know, their car gets dinged by a cart. Oh my God, my whole leg, I can't catch a break. It was an accident. It had nothing to do with you. But what happens is these things become a self-fulfilling prophecy. So this memo to Mary, in a way, it has two facets to it. I'm giving this message directly to Emma and Mary, or the Virgin Mary, um, because they say in Ethiopia, we say that Mariam Amalajinat, as in she's the person that delivers our message to God, or Exiharier. So I'm hoping that I'm praying to Mariam that this message of self help, right, of self love, of God imbuing in me the spirit of sufficiency, the spirit of love for myself is manifested. Because what happens when you don't have self love is love abandons you all the time. You know, I'm not going to name, well, I'll name one name because it's very evident, but there's so many, this name is so abundant that there's no way people know exactly who she is. The first name I'm going to leave out, I'll just say it starts with the letter E. She was my first love. And man, the love that I had for her was, I didn't think it was unmatched, right? We started off with just being friends. We got to know each other very well. We're both from the same country. And I didn't even know that I loved her until one day we were walking to class and she was leaving. I said, I love you. And it just, boom, it just hit me like a thunderbolt. And I walked dazed and confused. Did I just say that? And yes, I did. I fell in love with her. And she did too. The problem is, I didn't realize what love was. My flesh was so strong that I put lust above love. So this is part of my confession. For the first 8 months, I was a cheater, serial cheater. I had just actually no, I was about to be my last year, my last year, I think it was, in college. I was 22. I had just joined a grief fraternity called Omega Psi Phi. You see this? Yeah, mistakes that we make as children, as a child. That was a mistake I made, making that joining that fraternity. No more. I'm not. I disavow it for one big reason. Anything that's Masonic ain't about God, and anything that's not about God, I'm not trying to be a part of. Yeah. And because of that, because I joined the fraternity, the focus became about, and it was always like that for me, anyways, about quantity instead of quality. And that goes back to my youth as well, because I still wanted acceptance. And I struggled with weight my whole life. I was a fat kid. People say was still. No, but there was a time I lost a lot of weight. I got jumped by a bunch of kids. I got jumped by like 15 people. They beat me to a pulp. And I said, never again. I'm going to defend myself. And so I worked out. I lost 80 pounds. I was my high school football. I went from playing offensive line to wide receiver and safety. Only problem is I had the speed of an offensive lineman and the body of a wide receiver. That don't cut it too well. So yeah, let's just say I was like, if there was a fifth string, I would have been that. I think I got into one game. But when I lost all the weight, all of a sudden, every chick wanted to be with me, right? And because of that, the dudes want to be like around me, because success begets success. I learned the wrong lesson. I equated women's acceptance, women's desire for me, which is all about lust, with acceptance, with the fact that they want me, and the fact that I can finally fit in. So then my measuring bar of success, of acceptance, became women. Man, in my life, I might not be that far behind Walt Chamberlain. Not a good thing, by the way. Not a good thing. They say that men should go out there and sow their oats. Be careful how many oats you sow. because the spirit, every body that you enter, you take on their spirit as well. So you end up with hundreds of people throughout your life. You know how many traits you pick up, how many energies you pick up. You know, the union of two bodies. It's energy within energy. You sleep. It's not just, by the way, it's not just sex. It's also people that you surround yourself with, people that you sleep with. Just even the act of sleeping next to somebody. Osmosis, energy, their spirit it comes into you, and vice versa. So can you imagine then when you're having sex? That spirit is magnified by even more. So then you're having. Let me tell you something. You go out to a club, you have one night stand. Most of these people that I had sex with in the past were hurting deeply. Any woman that's wanting to have one night stand is hurting deeply. I mean, we're talking about like depression, anxiety, who knows what other stuff, schizophrenia, bipolar, not making wise decisions. So a man that keeps entering those spaces, you picking those things up. You know what I'm saying? And even if you don't necessarily fully manifest those spirits, they will kind of, they'll play havoc in your life unless you quit, get baptized, eat healthy, and get all those spirits out. You see, that's why you're supposed to drink a lot of water, by the way. It's not just to stay hydrated for the sake of losing weight, or for the sake of balance, pH balance. It's to flush out. You flush out your body with water, yo. Water is a blessing. The most essential treasure that we have in this earth. There's a couple. First is breath. Our breath is a treasure, right? Our heart, the ability to love, because love is the greatest gift of them all. The time. So, and to me, the two most essential components of treasures is time and love, right? Love is eternal. Love is eternal. So what you do here, it transcends time because it follows you. But here on earth, the most equal importance, or of equal value, is time. Every day, time goes by. You lose it. I don't care how rich you are. I don't care how much influence you have. Time lost will never be gained back again. And we're all fighting time. The Father Time is undefeated. Undefeated. No, I don't care if you're Bill Gates. And this time is going to be up very shortly, by the way. Obama, Trump, Biden. Well, it's amazing people become their names. These, or the poorest of them all. Even Iyesus. Time. He could not defeat time, except he did. Because you transcend through death. If you accept, then you transcend, and you go to heaven. These things exist. Atheist, it's cool to be an atheist. I'm not knocking you. But I promise you, when you take your last breath, you will see him as something just astounding. It's called love. It's called God. At that moment, you better accept. You better say, I accept it. Get down on your knees in transit and repent. If not, straight south to hell. You know what I'm saying? Anyone that denies after they've seen the full evidence of God, well, that's up to you. There's a story that Stalin, upon his deathbed, he shook his hands violently. Violently. And that was him basically denying God as far as we're concerned. And guess where he's going? Now, well, I was going to say if Hitler accepted Christ at the end, but he couldn't, because he committed suicide. That's a deadly, deadly, deadly sin. You go to hell for that. Because you're playing God. You're basically saying, screw God, I don't need it. I'm going to just end it myself. Not a good thing. Not a good thing. But all others, Paul Pot, let's say, it says, forgive me, I repent, I've killed millions of people. Forgiven. Idi Amin says, I repent, please forgive me. Forgiven. Yo, that's love. That's love that I can't do. That's why y'all better be happy I'm not God. You know what I'm saying? Even Iyesus couldn't rise to that level of forgiveness. When Peter pissed him off, he said, "Get behind thee, Satan." You know what I'm saying? So I know that this is controversial in the Orthodox faith that I follow, but for me, the Father and the Son are two different components. Ab, Wad, Memphis, Gadus. You see, we'll talk about that another time. But Father and Son are two different components. In fact, Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they have sinned." Right? Father, forgive them. As in, if he was God on earth at the same time that he was, then he would have said, "I forgive them." When they asked him, "How do you pray?" He says, "Go behind a closed door and pray so that your Father." He didn't say pray that so that you could, I could hear you. Well, you see, here on earth, there's a division between Father and Son. On heaven or in heaven, there is no division. There's no division. We all become one. It's energy. Energy becomes one. You know, where it says that we're made in the image of God, that's an atom. Consider this an atom. Atom, like Adam and Eve. We're a particle, participle, or like a gene in the water body. So if we're made in an image, the totality of human beings maybe could be a part of what God is, but not really, because there might be other, things in this world that we don't even know that he's a master of. So, so I just lost my train of thought for a second. But yeah, going back to love. In order for us to really understand the power of God within us, it's love. Love is the way. But if you don't have love within you for yourself or for other people, then you're doing the work of Satan, as far as I'm concerned. You become Satan to yourself. You become the devil to yourself, because that's imbalance. You know, God wants us to love ourselves and love others. If there's a lack of love for self or others, that's not godly, right? And what happens then is that we end up doing things that's demonic to ourselves or to others. And that's what we've seen. This world has now entered into a demonic uber phase. It's, Revelation. Imagine that back in the day, a record, right? A tape. When you spin it, when it's fast forwarding, when there's more tape on one side or the other, it spins slow. Like the spinning cycle is not as fast. At the very end, when there's a little bit left, it goes into like, it just ends real fast. That's Revelation. It's been unraveling for a while, but now it's kicked into hyperdrive. We're talking about maybe months or days, weeks. Who knows? Only God knows. But I really feel like we're in the final stages of Revelation. Of the revelation of love. The revelation of light. And that revelation is Iyesus. We're waiting for that. And when he comes back, he's not going to come back as a lamb this time around. Because he came back as a lamb full of love. He got crucified for that. Second time around, he's going to be a lion full of tough love. First time he came with an olive branch for humanity, thinking that love could save us. Nope, this time around it's going to be with a stick, a sword. But that sword, it's not made out of metal. He's not going to stab us. That sword is the word of God. And he's going to preach fire into people. And the people that accept will be saved through that fire. The people that deny, lake of fire. There's going to be different components, right? Depending on who. So I think I used to say, grace. No, the grace for the people, hammer for the powerful. There's the reason why there's going to be a hammer for the powerful, because they're the ones that are doing this. There's a difference between active malice, where you hurt people, and passive acceptance. Indifference. The 99% of humanity, 99.9%, are just either indifferent, they're participating, right? But they're not the ones that are really part of the act of evil. The act of evil, maybe 0.1%, or even maybe 0.01%, right? And these people are so demonic, so Masonic, so powerful. They think they call themselves the illuminated ones, aka the Illuminati. That exists, by the way. So is love. The only way that you could overcome evil is love. You know. And again, it goes back. The most basic component of love is self love. You know. So now this is where I kind of pivot and just talk about me for a second. About the current situation I find myself in, and the way forward. Uh, the current situation, I don't want to get into too much detail. Let's just say the tsunami really wrecked my life. I haven't been with my wife now for 36 days and counting. I haven't seen my son for that long. It's really, really painful. My job is about to fire me because I refuse to get quote unquote vaccinated. My financial order is in mess, complete disarray. I had to purchase one car in Western Virginia, and I was forced to purchase another car in Mississippi, and take all kinds. It's a wreck. My whole life is upside down, but yet I'm remarkably calm and peace, not in pieces, but why? Because through the tsunami, through the self-induced tsunami, my I was taught a valuable lesson: love myself, love myself. And so the first act of love ended very, for which was the girlfriend that I had, starts with the letter E. That didn't end very well. That did not end very well. Um, After 10 years of trying to make it work, we ended in bad terms. And because, you know why that happened? Because I didn't love myself. And she knew it. She knew it, and she wanted no parts of that. And I was begging her to stay. No woman wants a begging, uh, lack of confidence. Look, I slept with all these women. It wasn't confidence. It was insecurity. It was insecurity. Because the women I was attracting were insecure too. The truly confident ones, they don't want that. All the women that I had, I messed around with were all deeply insecure, deeply hurting. And I knew that, by the way, because I saw it in them. I saw it in them. And I know how to manipulate people to get what I want. Except I'm not really manipulating. I'm just manifesting. I'm manifesting what they're looking for anyways. A man has no power over a woman. None. We're helpless. All we could do is either talk our way into getting something that we want or talk our way out of it. It's the woman that has all the cards. So all I did was manifest every time what they wanted anyways. That they saw my charm, my intellect, my humor. These are like maybe one out of 1,000 men has the qualities that I have. Most men hang their hats on being in shape. The looks. I got the looks too, by the way. Even now, I'm a cutie pie. I'm 47 years old, but I've done it a number to myself. But when I get in shape, man, bro. So imagine that getting in shape, and on top of that, charismatic, educated, make good money. I'm a catch, but the problem is I'm a catch and release because women realize not too short after they're with me, that I'm not a catch after all, because I'm deeply insecure. I have an abandonment fear, my financial, because I have no respect for money. To be honest with you, I hate money. I've never liked money. I know it is. Money is this, for me. It's and the truth of it, it's the devil for me. Because back in the day, money was based on natural, like salt, or diamond or gold. There's a standard to money. Now there's no standard at all. It's what they say, these satanic people. So I don't like it. Now, can't do nothing about it. I conform, but still I don't like it. So no woman wants a man that has no respect for money, even if what I'm saying is true, by the way, about money. Because most women are like, what women want? Stability, financial stability. And above all, most women want financial stability. Above and beyond mental stability, they care about financial stability. That's where the way of the world, yo. I can't fight that tide. So yeah, my first love went away. My second love, right? Her name was Mary. 2014. Somebody from back in the day, and we linked up, took on a road trip to Maine, right? I was so I elevated her. All the women I've been with in the past, she's the one. She intimidated me. I went back to being like a kid in high school, and I put her on a pedestal. So we end up, but we never. Anyways, we dated. How about that? We dated. We dated for like 2 months. That was right when so in 2014, when I lost my job. The reason I lost my job is because I was partying too much, right? So I met her right before I lost my job. Now, had I acted responsibly to Mary, right? Had I, looked for another job, got a job, took care of my house, took care of myself, right? I would have married her. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, I try to do both. I try to not marry her, but date her, and kind of, recapture my youth going on partying. Yeah, let me tell you something, Mary. God saved you. Because what ends up happening is we, she would come over like, we'd go on a date once a week or, twice a week, whatever. And so one day she comes over, we're hanging out. I make dinner for her. And then she's about to leave, I kiss her goodnight. And then I said, I love you. She said, what? Like that was a shock to her. And maybe here's the ironic thing. Had I just left it at that and just let her go and let her think about it, maybe she would have still said, I love you back too, right? She was just shocked. For me, my fear of abandonment kicked in immediately. The next day, I bought roses. I bought candy, a cake. I was so afraid of losing her. I overdid it. I sweated her too much. She never called me back again. You know what I'm saying? Now, the same thing later on in 2014, man, I was heartbroken by that. My friends back in the day, we were going out and they was like, what happened to you? What happened to you? I was heartbroken. And you know how I deal with heartbreak? I party. I learned the wrong lesson. That's what I always do. I revert to parties. So my partying phase was not, now it's kind of being revealed to me now. My partying phase was not even about just partying phase. It was to get over Mary. Something about Mary. I was trying to get over Mary. And I went way left field with my partying. Partied every day. I turned my house, which was a beautiful condo, beautiful, expensive condo, into, what do you call it? I forgot what it's called. There's a term for in the hood where people just hang out and come, smoke weed, party. That's what I did. Man, I trashed that place because Mary left, and that ended up becoming the pretext for what happened when I became homeless, by the way. And I'll tell that story another time. But right when I was about to open up a shisha lounge, excuse me, I remember I was at a Sprint store and walked in this most beautiful chick. Oh my God. She was a model plus, right? And I was like, you know what? I have nothing to lose. Because, at the core, when I go into that, who cares? I have nothing to lose. If I have the confidence in me, it's a facade. It's not really confidence though. Anyways, I said, "Hey, what's going on?" We started chatting, and every guy in there was like, "This dude is not gonna get no." They were almost looking to see how she was gonna play me or just shoo me away. But we had an amazing conversation for like 30 minutes. I saw them. They're like, "What?" Like I walked in there with sweatpants on, with a shirt on. I was just over at the shisha lounge trying to fix some stuff up. So I looked like a bum. And she walked in with looking like a princess. But I talked to her, made her laugh, right? And she gave me her phone number. She walks out. The dude at the counter said, "What? Well, how did you do that? How? How? I can't believe I just saw a miracle today." uh, so I went to the car. I went inside my car and I texted her. I said, "Hey, it was nice meeting you. Look forward to a future chat." Even that text message was too much. She responded back. She said, "Definitely, I look forward to talking to you." Stop. Stop right there. Just stop. No, I had to then send another text message. It must have been like a page and a half. Never heard from her again. Her name was Aisha. Aisha from Howard University. You know what I'm saying? Again, I got it left. Not because, so that's three. So that's why I didn't love her. You know what I'm saying? That'd be kind of crazy. But I liked her a lot though. She was cute and she was intelligent. But I did too much. You know what I'm saying? And that, again, goes back to the fact that I don't love myself. So then 2 years of homelessness. And one day I write an article, basically a memo. It was called Memo to She. And who read it? Bethlehem. She loved it. It was an ode to women, right? About the fact that women don't have to be like men. That y'all don't have to think like us. Don't be like us. Teach us to be like you. She read it. She's like, "Who is this guy?" We connected on Facebook. And then I was homeless at that time, yo. You know what I'm saying? She said, "Get in touch with me." I said, I don't have a phone." I told her my situation. She said, "Who cares? Find a phone." All right. So I called her and then let her know that she could actually call me in the community room at the place I was staying at in Harvest Farm. That night we talked for 5 hours, yo. 5 hours. It's been 37 minutes of a podcast. I'm probably going to cut this into sections. But yeah, so we talked for 5, and then we hadn't stopped talking up until recently. She fell in love with me. I fell in love with her. Got married. Problem is, insecure Teddy is still there. Problem is, giving too much Teddy is still there. Problem is, not really believing in myself. Teddy is still there. And when you don't believe in yourself, when you don't love yourself, you become your life becomes a mess. Your life becomes a mess. You don't honor your time. You don't honor money. You know what I'm saying? These things are all aspects of a hurting child that never truly healed. Now, being irresponsible with money, being irresponsible with time, is not an indication of mental illness. This is the judgment of our community. And to be honest, the judgment of people, period. Let people go through their growing pains. Everyone, there's nobody. That's why people shouldn't judge. All of us are hurting. All of us have issues from the past. All of us. There's not one person. Pain is the universal language of man and woman, of mankind, or womankind. Pain is pain. All of us have pain. Some just mask it better than others. I'm authentic. I show mine. I tell mine. That's why I had created a show back in Colorado called Heel Talk. I've never had any problems telling my issues, opening up and saying, this is my journey. That's why the show is called Guzo to Healing. I don't hide the fact that I'm messy, that I've had depression in the past, that I've been anxious in the past. Even anxiety now. I haven't seen my son in 37 days. You know how much anxiety that induces? I'm 37. I lost track of the days now. That's honesty. It's called truth talk. People who are living an image, an outside in image, think that truth is crazy to them. They probably thought these are the same people that thought Jesus or Iyesus actually was crazy because he told the truth, and to a society that's sick in the head with lies, sickened with deception, pretending, fake, fake. They think truth is crazy. Isn't that something? Um, so yeah, but I will say this: I can't claim to be truth because truth demands uh, honoring yourself, honoring your temple, because that's the truth. Truth is when you take care of yourself. I'm over here judging the whole world and destroying myself. I'm over here trying to organize communities while disorganizing my life. Don't work. Let me tell you something. With my charisma, this is truth talk at this point. With my charisma, with my intelligence, with my looks, with my background, the fact that I'm related to a king of Ethiopia named Ate Todros, with my ability to connect with people, the whole world could be mine. As in, like, not mine as in to own, but like to do whatever I want to. You know, a blank check. That God has written me a blank check, and I keep denying it. I keep tearing up the check because I don't love myself. So this is where I'm at in life. This is Memo to E. You know who she is. Memo to Mary. You know who she is. And Memo to Bethlehem too. I don't really know what the next component or the next phase of my life is going to be. I know I need to heal. I need to be on my own for a while. For a while. I love my son and I want access to my son ASAP. But I'm going to give that to God. Because, somebody told me that my son being kept away from me all this time, it's kind of like Abraham. I'm going through an Abrahamic test. This is God testing me to see whether or not I'm worthy of being the person that he wants me to be, of being a leader to Manny and to myself. But a person cannot be a leader for Manny. A person cannot be a leader for nations if he's not a leader for himself. Nobody wants to follow a bum. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that to be judgmental of bums. No, but actually I am. That's judgmental. Because there's a difference between homelessness and being a bum. A bum literally means you just beating yourself up. You have zero love. I've met a lot of homeless people that are classy and dignified and take care of themselves. Heck, Iyesus was homeless. He walked with the broken. He hung out with prostitutes and tax collectors, which is like back in the day, to be a tax collector was actually worse than to be a prostitute. They hated tax collectors, but for good reasons. But all that being said, whatever God has in mind for me, it cannot be manifested unless I take care of myself, unless I love myself. So this Memo to Mary is not really Memo to Mary, the one that I dated for about a month and a half. This Memo to Mary is to Mariam, for her to deliver a message to God. Xavier, help me to love myself. And then when that happens, everything else falls into pieces. Everything will then be, all the things will just interconnect. And whatever. See, my mom had a dream about me when I was young. Well, when I was in her belly, before I was even born. She had a dream. I think, if I remember correctly, it was either a big star in the sky. She said it was a diamond in the sky. Or my sister said it was actually a dream of a bell falling and hitting on her head, right? A church bell. So she went to a church, Medhana Alim, in Ethiopia, and she told the priest, and he told her, he said, "Wow, your son, your son, powerful. He's going to be the king of Ethiopia. Take care of him." Right? That dream of hers, she tells me that story about what the priest says over and over throughout my whole life. Like I already have an abiding love for Ethiopia. The first time I got depressed was because I came here to America. I loved Ethiopia. I love Ethiopia. Um, so what I realize now, by the way, is that Ethiopia is not just even just a country. The whole continent was called Ethiopia. But if you look at it that way, then Ethiopia is really that humanity, because life started in the country that's not Ethiopia, and from one became many. We're all Ethiopians in that way. All of us. I don't care if you're brown, quote unquote white. You know, all these skin colors are just asinine. Asinine. We're all Ethiopians. We come from one. Um, so, that dream that she had of me being the king of Ethiopia it stayed with me. My name is Theodros. There's a prophecy in the Kebra in Ethiopia. It's like a biblical prophecy that a king will come and rule Ethiopia with justice and mercy for 40 years. 40 years. And that's there's the king that changed his name. My forefather, his real name was Kasa Harlu, but he changed his name to Ase Todros. Ase means, by the way, eyes and Gez, to see, a visionary, right? A visionary is what it means. So Ase Todros. So he became king, but the problem is when he changed his name, he was playing with the prophecy. He was saying he's the prophecy. Didn't end well for him. His wife died shortly thereafter. And then he didn't, I'll just put it this way, he didn't really live for 40 years. And there was no peace. There was never peace, any peace at all during his reign. It was war, constant war. So the prophecy continues. So then the question becomes, am I that prophecy? Am I the king that's supposed to go back in Ethiopia and restore peace and order? I don't know. Only God knows. Here's what I know. If I am that guy, ain't gonna happen if I don't love myself. So there's a promise waiting for me. The blank check is there waiting to be cashed. I just have to sign it. So the next 9 months for me, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to organize myself. I'm going to help myself. I'm going to heal myself. These 9 months, that's a rebirth. And that 9 months, I want to see my son, but separation from everyone. Everyone. Sabbatical time from everyone. I will love people from a distance. But I'm going to focus on myself. And when I see my son's the exception. My son, when it's daddy and Sunday, when it's father and Sunday, then all my attention will be on him. I love my son dearly, y'all. I miss him a lot. I was watching this video last night. I shared there's a video I created for him, and he dances. He didn't get the dancing from me. That he got from his mama. Yeah, that dude, little man could dance. He could do a skista. I suck at his skista. You know what I am? I'm a clapper. I'm the best clapper. Even that, man, that speaks to my trauma. I know how to clap for other people. I don't know how to do the dance myself. You know? Maybe in these 9 months, I'm gonna learn how to do skista. I could be the dancer. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna dance instead of encouraging other people to dance. That's healing. That's heel talk. So yeah, 9 months. So I guess this is grand opening, grand closing of Guzo to Healing. 2 shows, yo. 2 shows. It's been a pleasure. We're going to take some time off, self-reflect, self-healing, self-love. When I come back, here's my goal in 9 months: 100 pounds lighter. My smile is always there. So that's never going away. Wiser, um, more with more patience, with I don't want to say more love. Yeah, definitely more love for myself, which would then create more love for others. Authenticity, and then everything else I'll just leave to God. We'll see what happens. Now here's what I know: time. Like I said, I'm going to end it with time. Um, it is currently 11:13. So time has been switched, right? By the way, you see this? I'm wearing this on the right hand. I bought this today um, because whatever we're going through right now, see, I believe in authenticity. And so I'm not going to sit up here and say I love someone if I'm angry. You know what I'm saying? So right here, it's called separation for a reason. There has to be, and I'm not. Look, I told you already. I'm going to take the blame. I'm going to be accountable for what happened, even if the situation. Look, in life, you need to be justice with mercy. That no punishment should exceed. To be excessive. Having me not having seen my son for 37 days is excessive punishment, and no court in America, no court would side with that. But I don't care about the court systems because I've given it to the court that matters, to God. And that's why I'm passing the Abrahamic test, because I put God above everything. Because if I put Johannes above God, I'd have done something that was not wise. You know what I'm saying? But because I put God above Johannes, because I put God above myself, then he's gonna work it through. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna work it through. So time. I'm gonna wrap this up. It has now been 51 minutes, 52 minutes. So we're gonna go to 11. So in Ethiopia, the time has been flipped. 11 is really 2. If that makes any sense, let me explain that to you. So on the clock, you see, like 6 is actually here at the bottom. It's actually, what is it? 12 is actually 6, right? 3 is actually, what is this? 9. The Romans flipped it. They switched everything around. So when it says 11:15 right now, it's actually, let me see here. Is that 2? 11. I'm tripping over here. No, 5. So right now it's actually 5:15 according to Ethiopia, right? Not in Ethiopia, here. So in other words, take the clock, right? 12 is 6, 3 is 9, right? So when it says 11:15, it's actually 5:15. So 5:15. So I'm gonna go to Revelation, right? And then 5:15, which is 1 plus, that's 160. We'll go 15. 1 plus 5 is 6. So we're gonna go to Revelations 5:6, right? Let's see what it says. Revelation 5:6. It says, and I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne and of the 4 beasts, and in the midst of the elders, stood a lamb, as it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of God sent forth into all the earth. Remember I told you, Iyesus came the first time as a lamb, And because of that, his followers, everyone treated him, just spat on him, basically. You know who killed Iyesus? It wasn't the Pharisees. They were part of it. It wasn't Pilate. It was the people that he fed. The people that he fed killed him, murdered him with their indifference. So he ain't gonna come back the second time as a lamb. He comes back as a lion. The Lion of Judah. So yeah, I think that time's almost here. The lamb is here. The lion is here. And in that way, people always say, what would a yeses do? Well, I'm going to stop being a lamb and be a lion. because I could trace my ancestry directly to King Dawit. His name is not David, it's Dawit, and Bathsheba. So I could trace my ancestry to Judah. I'm going to be a lion of Judah that I am, not a lamb of Judah. I'm done being a lamb. I'm done. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what happens over the next 9 months. This lamb is going to transform himself day by day into a lion. War. But that that lion has to be loving. A loving lion. That's what I'm going to be. And when I finish up this whole process of healing, I'm going to be a lion with a heart of a lamb, bearing a sword, which is the word of God. In fact, it's kind of ironic. Without even knowing all this, um, the motto for the I changed the motto about 2 years ago to our pens are our swords. But it was lowercase s and then the capitalized WORD, word. The sword is the word. You know. So yeah, I'm gonna do exactly what Iyesus would do. Right? He's gonna be loving, but he's gonna be fierce. In terms of protecting that which needs protection, God's children. So I wish you well. Um, there goes my sermon, I guess. Grand opening, grand closing. I just did my first one a couple of on Sunday that just passed. I was gonna do another one next week. Maybe not. Or maybe you know what? If I'm gonna be offline, maybe I'll do stuff offline. Maybe I'll continue talking to kids because I love doing that. All right. So I'll catch you on the flip side. Hey, let me tell you, in Ethiopia, we have a saying, Fikr Yashin Nifal. I'm going to call that Fikr Yashin Nifal, as in my love. My love. My first name, Theodros Fikr Mariam. Theodros means the weapon of God. Fikr Mariam means my love Mary. My love Mary. My last name is my love Mary or my love Mariam. You know what I'm saying? My love Mary. So, it's only through the love of Mariam within me that the true sword, the true weapon of God is the love of Mary. And I've been missing that all along. Talk about revelation. I just realized that moment right now. The true sword of the true weapon of God was Mariam. The love of Mariam. So I'm going to finally learn that lesson. It's been a pleasure, y'all. It's been a process. This Guzo to Healing continues for the time being offline. I'll catch y'all again soon. And in the meantime, just remember, love, be love, and let love win. Peace and God bless.